Good evening, everyone. We will begin this evening's program in just a bit. Before that, may we please request you to keep your mobile phone in switched off or in airplane mode, please. May I now request Dr. Nandini Rao, Director, Orient Black Swan, to welcome the distinguished panel and the guests.
Dr. Manmohan Singh, Professor Pratap Bhanu Mehta, Professor Neera Chandok, Mr. Jaipal Reddy, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm delighted to welcome you to the launch of 10 Ideologies, the great asymmetry between agrarianism and industrialism by Mr. Jaipal Reddy. On behalf of Orient Black Swan, I thank each of you for accepting our invitation to this evening's function and for making it so very special for us. At Orient Black Swan, we take care to publish books that add to critical research and knowledge and aid our understanding of the social and geopolitical climate that we find ourselves in today. Incorporated in 1948, we have published distinguished writers from India and abroad. Our authors include Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Satyajit Ray, Rajni Kothari, Bipin Chandra, M.N. Srinivas, Romila Thapar, Y.V. Reddy, and now we are very proud to have published this extremely important title and to welcome to our list of distinguished authors, Mr. Jaipal Reddy, eminent scholar and politician. We are very grateful to you, Mr. Reddy, for giving us an opportunity to publish 10 Ideologies. Thank you, sir. Aside from bringing together in one book the important social, historical, and scientific movements that have shaped modernity, Mr. Reddy also puts forward a very crucial point, what he calls the great asymmetry between the primordial worldview that characterized the agrarian age and the technological and scientific advancement that makes up the current globalized world. It is, as the book eloquently describes, this asymmetry and disconnect that have led to an increasing parochialism among social groups across the world and the rising importance given to religious, racial, and cultural ties. Inevitably, such dissonance has meant the othering of certain groups of people, and the disastrous results of this worldview are now being experienced the world over. Mr. Jaipal Reddy also discusses in profound detail the other pressing problems faced by us today, those that are an integral part of modernity and that issue from the unhindered use of technology, the danger of climate change, and in a war-torn world, the importance of choosing a path towards nuclear pacifism. His stress on visualizing an environment-friendly, harmonious world that is at peace both with itself and with nature is perhaps the most important lesson that this book offers. To discuss all these and more, we have a very esteemed panel today. Before we move on, I'd just like to introduce our author and the panel. Mr. Jaipal Reddy has just been appointed the spokesperson of the All India Congress Committee. He was elected member of the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly 4 times between 1969 and 1983. He was a member of Parliament from 1984 to 2014 and leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha 1991-92. He became a member in I.K. Gujral's government in 1998 and was also a minister in Dr. Manmohan Singh's government from 2004 to 14. He handled a number of portfolios, including information and broadcasting, culture, urban development, petroleum and gas, and science and technology. He is widely noted for his achievements as a parliamentarian, political commentator, and minister. Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for giving us the opportunity to publish your work. Dr. Manmohan Singh needs no introduction. As an economist of note, he served as the Prime Minister of India from 2004 to 2014. In the 1990s, as Finance Minister, Dr. Singh carried out several structural reforms that liberalized the country's economy and shaped India as we know it today. He continues to serve as a Member of Parliament representing the state of Assam in the Rajya Sabha for the 5th consecutive term since 1991. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Dr. Needa Chandok was Professor of Political Studies at the University of Delhi. Her research interests and expertise are in political theory, political philosophy, international law, rights, civil society, comparative politics, and Indian politics. Her seminal contribution in the study of civil society is recognized globally. She writes regularly in the media. Thank you, Dr. Chandok, and welcome to this event. Professor Pratap Bhanu Mehta is Vice Chancellor of the Ashoka University. He is a political scientist who has taught at Harvard University, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and the New York University School of Law. Most recently, Professor Mehta was President and Chief Executive of the Center for Policy Research. He is a prolific writer and is on the editorial boards of several academic journals. We are delighted to have you with us today, Professor Mehta. Thank you. We look forward to an extremely enriching discussion this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. May I now request Dr. Manmohan Singh to release the first copy of 10 Ideologies, The Great Asymmetry Between Agrarianism and Industrialism by Mr. Jaipal Reddy, and speak a few words about the book too.
Respected former Prime Minister Shri Devi Gowda ji, respected former Vice President Shri Hamid Ansari ji, Shri Sharad Yadav ji, Jaipal Reddy ji, Dr. Pratap Bhanu Mehta, Dr. Needa Chandok, senior leaders from all political parties represented here, directors of the Orient Black Swan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This book of my friend Shri Jaipal Reddy could not have come a day too soon. It fills a widely felt need for a book on ideologies. The book has many firsts to its credit. They include dealing with almost all the influential ideologies of our time within the compass of a short work. Another distinctive feature is that it offers a perspective on entire human history based not only on traditional materials but also on the latest scientific findings. While so doing, Shri Jaipal Reddy presents a view that the Homo sapiens are genetically interconnected. In the process, he also brings out that the divisions based on race, religion, caste, or color are products of the historical periods but cannot be accepted by holistic reading of history. The great teachers of either religious or moral stature have been laying stress on the oneness of humanity. This message of great sages has been reinforced by scientific evidence as well. I compliment Shri Jaipal Reddy for having given a new dimension to the efforts for highlighting the many-sided interrelations of people on the planet that we live. As for ideologies, it dwells on 10 of the relevant ones at one stretch to show how they are interlocked and how they all sprang from the common origins of the modern industrial age. One does not come across such books either in India or abroad. We do find a number of books that describe about particular ideologies or particular situations. They also serve their purpose, but they cannot offer an integrated perspective. What is required in these challenging times that we live in is not to fret about, but hold a breath and take a historical view. As John Maynard Keynes rightly observed, a study of the history of opinion is a necessary preliminary to the emancipation of mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to know that my colleague Shri Jaipal Reddy has adopted this historical approach. It has yielded many new lessons which can be found in this book. While alluding to the beginnings of the industrial age, the author has pointed out that the historical foundations for the new era were provided by China, India, as well as West Asia, both in ancient times and the medieval period. The contribution of such key technologies as paper, printing press, gunpowder from the East helped the modern West in its formative period to usher in the industrial civilization. The technologies borrowed from the East helped the West in having the Renaissance, Reformation, scientific revolution. It was these intellectual movements which stimulated historical changes and new schools of thought. They were all happening at about the same time. Before the scientific revolution and the consequent industrial revolution, the East was an economically advanced, if not more, than the West. In the course of the last 3 centuries, the Industrial Revolution has spread so far and wide as not to be confined to the West. It is now a full-blown global phenomenon. Shri Jaipal Reddy has done well in focusing on all these aspects as part of his narrative. It is evident from the reading of this book that he could write full-length books on each of the ideologies covered in the book. Such books by specialists are of course available. He has rightly refrained from duplicating such attempt. He has instead offered comparative ideological perspectives. While learning or adoption of ideologies is necessary, it is only a starting point to understand complex processes and situations. It can be compared to the mariner's compass, which can show the direction you are sailing in on the high sea, but not the storms and shallows that may lie in store. But rigorous empirical assessment can help in identifying such problems in advance. In fact, such an approach takes you beyond ideologies and across ideologies. The author says as much. As I went through the book, I came across the ideas of masterly thinkers I have been reminded of my own Cambridge days. It is like going back to the basics. I have enjoyed this refreshing experience and greatly benefited by it. I am happy to note that Shri Jayapal Reddy is trying to build a new approach to meet the current crisis in the world. This is what we should focus on. The resurgence of nativism and protectionism in the West are disturbing phenomena. Old and tried approaches may not suffice. We should not hesitate to think afresh. While doing so, the paramount need is to build goodwill and peace among nations. In this context, the conflict of mindsets of agrarian and industrial eras that Shri Jayapal Reddy focuses upon is highly relevant. When the instruments of destruction are developing at a lightning pace, the human mind